We've got some breaking news from the FBI in Cleveland announcing an arrest in connection to a possible terror attack planned for the 4th of July. For more, let's bring in NBC News Justice correspondent Pete Williams. Pete, what do we know?
Well, the man they've arrested is named Demetrius Nathaniel Pitts. He's 48, a U.S. citizen, lived in the Cincinnati area, then moved to Cleveland. And authorities say starting last year, he began to express on social media support for al-Qaeda, the terror group, and a desire to attack or have targets in the U.S. attacked. Now, we've seen cases like this before. The FBI did here what it has done dozens of times in the past. It introduced to him a man who was posing as an al-Qaeda sympathizer or al-Qaeda operative who was, in fact, an undercover FBI agent. And the FBI says over several months, Pitts expressed a desire to locate or scout or do reconnaissance on specific potential targets in the Cleveland area, including a park, including the location where the 4th of July gathering would be, and repeatedly said that he wanted to kill people or at least assist in killing people. And according to the U.S. Attorney, Justin Herdman, the man certainly had evil intent.
He wanted to target, even initially, from the very beginning of this, people at a July 4th parade. And he also talked about wanting to target people watching fireworks over downtown Cleveland, right outside this building. But he also wanted to strike at the values that are at the very core of our nation. He wanted us to be afraid to speak our minds. He also wanted us to be afraid to gather together in public places. So I asked this week that we all continue to gather, continue to celebrate America, continue to celebrate our men and women in law enforcement, to acknowledge those who have given their lives in the line of duty, to engage in the exchange of ideas that is central to our democracy, to continue to have our barbecues and continue to go see fireworks.
Now, to be clear, authorities say Pitts himself did not have any explosives and did not have any means of carrying out an attack. But one of the reasons they were concerned about him, Chris, is that they said he had a criminal background. He'd been arrested before for domestic violence, for assault, and for robbery.
Thank you, Pete Williams.
Hey there, I'm Chris Hayes from MSNBC. Thanks for watching MSNBC on YouTube. If you want to keep up to date with the videos we're putting out, you can click subscribe just below me or click over on this list to see lots of other great videos.